of my main critiques of House of the Dragon as a whole is that everything happens by mistake. I did like House of the Dragon season 3 more than I liked season 2, but I still felt like a lot of what happens in the season and in the story happens by accident and happens by happenstance. And I feel like they do a lot of that because they're trying to preserve the humanity of characters, especially Rhaenyra and Alicent. Instead of having these characters make potentially immoral decisions that they have to make during war, it kind of feels like the show wants everything to happen around these characters so they don't actually have to have agency in making some of those more difficult decisions. Just in the early parts of season 3 alone, you have the Battle of the Gullet. That's this huge bloodbath, but they don't put any of the blood on the hands of Rhaenyra because she's taken out of the battle by her son, and that battle becomes such a bloodbath because of a bunch of mistakes and a bunch of misunderstandings. And then moving on to the next episode, you have Rhaenyra taking over King's Landing, which is only able to happen because they gave Alicent kind of this redemption arc where she makes this deal with Rhaenyra. But of course, the plot has to happen, so everything has to go wrong with this deal. Later on in the season, when the Gold Cloaks are brutal with the small folk, it's all because of a misunderstanding of Rhaenyra's instructions. And then once you peel back the onion and go back a few seasons, obviously this whole conflict started because of a misunderstanding of what Alicent heard from Viserys. And you have a ton of other misunderstandings like Aemon and Vhagar killing Lucerys by accident, Kristen Cole killing Beesbury by accident, Daemon hiring Blood and Cheese without Rhaenyra's approval. The whole show is basically a bunch of accidents pieced together, and I feel like the reason they do that is kind of to take the weight of some of these decisions off of our main characters, so we don't turn against them and we don't think that they're straight up villains. But at the end of season 3, they start moving Rhaenyra towards her Mad Queen arc, and I actually think that made a lot of sense, and I enjoyed that character more once she was actually making her own decisions and showing the impact that all of these events had on her worldview and her morality. I'm glad we're finally getting it. I wish that they didn't shield us from it for so long. Obviously, the Dance of the Dragons is going to get out of hand and out of control for all of our characters, but I do want their decisions to be the things driving this war to its head.